Hey guys, I'm Tiffany H. Lewis. Welcome back. Here's another Mandela effect. I'm going to start off with 3 definitions. So the very first definition is kind of a theory that psychologists use to explain it, and it is also explained this way in the Oxford Online Dictionary. So the Oxford Dictionary says it is an apparent recollection of an event that did not actually occur. Researchers suggest that factors such as improper media coverage, word of mouth, mental associations with other people, facts, and even events play a role in the widespread nature of memories associated with the Mandela effect. Before I go any further, Nelson Mandela. A lot of people swear up and down that he died in the 1980s in prison. But then I personally remember him dying in 2013. I literally watched his funeral on television. I've already done one video about that. So he was the president of South Africa. And I don't know if I remember him being freed from prison, but I specifically remember watching his funeral on TV. And to this day, I will swear up and down exactly what that coffin looked like. I mean, it's right here, photographic memory. Okay, so that's Nelson Mandela. So a lady named Fiona Broome, right? She came up with a different way of looking at it. So this is the second way that it could be explained. Fiona Broome, who coined the term I think I've come across another Mandela effect. I read 2 days ago that she coined this term, Mandela Effect, in 2013, and what I'm reading right now says that she actually coined that term in 2010, which makes no sense because Nelson Mandela, if he did die in 2013, I don't know. But anyway, Fiona Broome. She explains, and she's like a paranormal investigator, by the way. She explains the phenomenon differently. So in the terms of possible alternate realities, universes, parallel universes, I talk about this stuff all the time. So her theory is that people constantly slip in and out of different parallel universes in which facts, events, and even minor details can be changed. So as a result, masses of people remember the facts differently than how they occurred in this particular reality. What I've learned about the Mandela effect is it's like deja vu. It's like you've been there before, or you sat your glass down on the counter, or you are 1,000% sure that you saw this, or you went there, or you ate that, and then if you ate something, the restaurant never existed, ever. If you went somewhere, nope, it never existed. One of the big ones I think that gets to a lot of people, it's sort of like, has Australia or New Zealand moved? And the irony with this one is that okay, I never even went to school. I hated school. I hate the institutions, especially educational institutions, where they, force you to learn a bunch of crap that you don't care about and will never use in real life. And this is why. Here we are, all these years later. So back in school, they give you a globe and they have a map, and it's called history or geography class, right? Ironically, me and a whole bunch of other people, which I have no number for, but the purpose of these videos and this channel is to actually try to gain a number of people. I want to know how many people believe in this. I don't want to divide 2 sides, but there are 2 sides. You either believe this or you believe this. Back to geography. So on the map, me and a bunch of other people, specifically, the thing that stuck out to me most on the globe in geography class and history classes was literally where Australia and New Zealand were placed. Now, I remember New Zealand being here and Australia being right here. Well, no, that's not it anymore. Look at a map right now. Google it. Australia, New Zealand. Why do we all specifically remember Australia and New Zealand? Can any person in the world actually draw a globe and get every single country, city, state, every single part of it right? Probably not. I don't know, maybe somebody could, but Why do we all remember specifically the New Zealand, Australia part? And why have, I don't know which one of the two has moved, but one of them has moved. Okay, so that's Fiona Broom's explanation of this phenomenon. I'm going to read you the third one, and then I'm going to tell you what I know. All right, the third theory that is about the Mandela effect, it involves time travel, right? So followers of this explanation believe that time travel must become possible at some point in the future, which would mean that time travel has likely been occurring between that future point where it exists and the present since the beginning of time. If people from the future are time traveling, then the changes they make in history are likely to have a lasting ripple effect. Plus, facts have been changed, but some people still remember them as they once were, aka, voila, the Mandela effect. So I'm somewhere in between the second and the third. There's a few articles on the internet that will tell you that you're misremembering the facts. Okay, so that's one version. You're misremembering it. It never happened. You're full of it. You must have watched it on like a fake news outlet. No, never happened at all. That's one possibility. The second one is, you know what? Maybe we are traveling through other realms, parallel universes, the multiverse. Ever heard of CERN? Just saying. Do you know what a black hole is? How about the butterfly effect? Theory of relativity? Chaos theory? Kind of sounds like that third definition there a little bit. Creating a ripple effect. It's exactly what the butterfly effect does. So I'm right here between what Fiona says, and it doesn't tell me who said the third one, but it's just like followers of this explanation. Here's what I think. I think it's like this. And I explained it like this to somebody today. So I'm at the grocery store, okay, and you're at the grocery store with me. And both of us are in this cereal aisle, and both of us are going to buy a box of Fruit Loops, right? So Fruit Loops right now in the grocery store, right here in 2019, when I look at the same box in the same aisle as you and we both buy the same Fruit Loops, it's not like one of us sees it spelled one way or the other way. We literally both right this second see it spelled F-R-O-O-T loops, L-O-O-P-S. However, I will swear up and down I grew up on Fruit Loops, like F-R-U-I-T loops. Here's how it works. I think if we are slipping in between like parallel universes, time, I totally believe in time travel. I've believed in that since, World War I, Hitler mysteriously went missing. A lot of, nuclear and atomic instances, things that y'all don't even know about, that I don't know enough about to try to educate you on either. It's just, yes, we're slipping in and out of different universes and realities, but here's also what I know. As we elevate our level of consciousness and start vibrating on a higher, more positive frequency, well, naturally, we're evolving as human beings. So maybe if something really traumatic has happened to you and maybe you died or had a near-death experience and came back, that's one other explanation of kind of why. There really is no why, and it doesn't matter what the why is. What matters is that there is a how. So if my memory, right, let's go with the other version. This is a shared memory among a large group of people, no specific number once again. It's a shared memory or recollection of an actual fact or historical events that actually did take place. So me seeing that coffin for Nelson Mandela or JFK, the car, which I've talked about in a prior video, I remember that because I saw it. Does that mean I was there and that I'm time traveling now? Well, I'm not old enough to have been there. So how do I know that? I don't know. But I do know that I will fight you like up and down. Just anybody who doesn't know about the Mandela effect, Maybe you're not fascinated by it, maybe you don't care. But those same people that feel that way will not fight you on the fact that no, Nelson Mandela died in prison in 1980. They won't fight you on that. They'll say it's always been Fruit Loops, F-R-O-O-T, loops, because we are in their reality. So every time I learn how to control my thoughts and learn how to be a more positive person and try to encourage and inspire other people to always evolve, always keep learning. Time changes things, but you cannot discount the fact that CERN, C-E-R-N, created a black hole. You can't actually believe that we're the only thing on this planet, just humans, no alien or other life. How could you possibly believe that? But we'll get to that because I'm getting ready to do a whole video on biblical Mandela effects. So we're slipping through time. Who's the we? I don't know. F-R-U-I-T loops or F-R-O-O-T loops? I don't know. My guess is us. F-R-U-I-T loops. Why? Because we'll fight you to our death that it was Fruit Loops with F-R-U-I-T. Not only that, but it was on the food pyramid, which we were taught in like first grade, which now the Mandela Effect says didn't even come out till the 90s. That is a load of crap. Oh man, that food pyramid, no. That came out when I was in elementary, well, maybe before then, but when I was in elementary school. Here's your vegetables, here's your fruit. It's a, food pyramid. And that I could say some things about too, like it, if you thought about it that way too. Sometimes I think that somebody kind of made this up to mess with our heads, but then after really thinking about it, all joking aside, seriously, I'm here to tell you that of course there's other universes. Of course there's parallel universes, because of course I have personally lived through it, witnessed it. I have personally, astral projection. That's time travel. I have seen time stop, go forward, slow down, literally, completely stop. I've had conversations with people in a room, me or myself and another awakened person are having a conversation in a room with a whole bunch of other people around, and I swear it's like we're screaming the most. It's like we could scream, I'm gonna murder the president. Like we could probably scream that. And all the people in the room, it's like, kind of reminds me of the Truman Show. They're just kind of, they never even look up from their phone. And we're saying the most bizarre things to each other. So we look at each other all the time. This happens to me all the time. This is just one example with one girlfriend of mine. And it happens every time we go to the doctor's office. We're having these like really insane, deep conversations. And it's a small waiting room, and it probably only sits like, I don't know, 8 people max. How are they not hearing us? Why are they looking up from their phone and being like, did she really just say that? Why does nobody acknowledge our existence? We're in the same room as them. So that's one example. I have another example that another friend, I've probably got some videos on this. This one happens to me a lot. I will say something to somebody to their face, and it's like they just walk right through me like I'm some kind of an apparition, and I'm like, hello, did you not just hear me? I was visiting somebody in the hospital recently. This must have happened to me 20 times. So the distance between like me and the nurse were like, well, I don't know, 3 feet. Hey nurse, can I get a status update? She doesn't even acknowledge the fact that I'm even speaking to her. She doesn't look at me like in any way, shape, or form like, huh, or what, or any kind of contact whatsoever. No eye contact, no acknowledgement. And it's not a, malintent. She really didn't hear me. Well, then I started to notice it wasn't just her. It was like a lot of nurses in the hospital at that particular time. Every time I said something, and this is how I got to the recording. I was like to my friend, I said, hey, I need you to record this because, you heard me say that, right? I saw that. You saw that, you saw that, right? He's like, yeah. So we started recording it. And the number of times that I specifically like walk up to a person and say something, or they entered into the room at the hospital during that time, and I just said words to them, whatever it was, a question, or yeah, it was probably a question. It was a nurse. Of course it was a question. I was in the hospital visiting somebody, and I wanted to know like what is happening and how's everything going, etc., etc., etc. None of them heard me. And it was witnessed and it was videotaped multiple times. Now, this one really does happen to me a lot. It gets even weirder. The Mandela effect is like this. So let's pretend, hypothetically, that I'm from another time, right? I'm from another time and I remember Fruit Loops because maybe back in time, whenever that is, maybe Fruit Loops really was spelled F-R-U-I-T loops, right? But that was then, and this is now. The next picture you see is going to be extremely graphic, so please just fast forward past it. This is now. Probably for the same reason that I remember Kennedy's assassination. I wasn't there. How do I know these details? Or was I? Was I time traveling? I just told you I can astro travel. I can do it wide awake. I don't even have to be asleep. I take people astro traveling with me all the time, and they'll back this up 100%. Of course we can travel in and out and slip, in and out. But the thing is, again, when you learn how to, which I cannot for the life of me figure out how to harness this much energy, because I'm like always operating on such a high frequency. I don't know how to harness that energy and ground myself. Yeah. Ask my parents how well it worked out when they tried to ground myself. Yeah. Ask my parents how well it worked out when they tried to ground me. And I'm not just being stubborn. I'm just saying that the energy is so overwhelming, especially right now, because I'm so excited. And I'm so excited and I'm so fascinated with this topic because I figured out that all the pieces, they kind of all make sense, except for the one that says it did not happen. All the other versions say it is a historical, factual event that actually took place. And we're just misremembering it. But we, as a collective why are we, however many of us there are, how do we know that? Why will we fight you so hard that we're right? Berenstain Bears is another great example. Or Mr. Rogers. Oh my God. Some of these ruined my life. Like, they started out by ruining my childhood. Forrest Gump, life was like a box of chocolates, even though the literal box, because I just bought one on Amazon, literally says life is like a box of chocolates in quotations. All right, then you've got people like Jim Carrey, Matthew Broderick, who played Ferris Bueller and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They're doing a lot of SNL parodies right now, making fun of some of these things that we're saying. For instance, Silence of the Lambs. He says, "Hello, Clarice." I know for a fact he said that. And I know a lot of other people who know that he said that. We're not guessing and we're not misremembering. And I found some slippage the other day. I was doing a video on Joan Jett's song, I Love Rock and Roll. And I found 3 separate versions just by her. And now that she remade it. So the original band's version of it, really I didn't go into that much detail or whatever it said, because it was written from a female versus male perspective, and Joan Jett just kind of took that on, and it's awesome. But there's a line that says, "Saw you standing there by the record machine." Okay, well, it does not say that. Not only does it does not say that, it never said that. Back to that slippage I found. Britney Spears remade that song too. Yup. And so did the movie The Runaways. Yes, Dakota Fanning and Kristen Stewart. So you've got people like Jim Carrey, who are these Hollywood people, right? Making all these jokes and parodies like, "Hello, Clarice," like in a joking manner. Like it's funny that we all remember that. Is it funny? I mean, who's right? how is there a right? What's right? If I remember this and I've got a whole bunch of other people that remember it too, well, then we're right because we remember that because it's our memory. The internet says it's a factual event, a historical event that literally happened and literally took place. You've got other versions that say, nope, you're just misremembering the facts. And media, well, I don't watch the news, so I'm not misremembering crap. I promise you that. Another one, sorry, I kind of diverted for a second. The slippage is where I found out that Britney Spears' version of I Love Rock and Roll, and then the version that that Dakota Fanning sang in the movie The Runaways, yeah, y'all messed up. Y'all skipped a couple of artists. You forgot to change the lyrics. And I have it on video. Yeah, I do. YouTube it. Just saying. And then you've got the third version that says Joan Jett, dirty version. Says, saw him standing there by the wrecking machine. Fact. All the other ones have been changed. You're changing books. You're changing names. You're sending letters. Interview with what? A vampire? Or the vampire? I bet you remember it as an interview with the vampire. And you know, the funny thing is, listen to how I just said that. Interview with a interview with the vampire. It's A mixed with the. Interview with the vampire. With the. That's like a word somehow. Of course we got that one confused. So letters and numbers, I will give you the fact that, sure, that's not really as mind-blowing as, oh, I don't know, let's go over one I found yesterday. So every single year on Christmas Eve, I have a physical book called 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Another Mandela Effect has to do with the North Pole and the South Pole. Mandela Effect. I'm going to actually do a Christmas one for you after I do this biblical one for you, but I want to put this one in this video real quick, and then I'm going to do a few more. I'm going to be doing videos for you guys basically all night. So, but before I tell you what's in that book, like I said, every time we elevate and raise our frequency and raise our vibration, and the more that we learn how to like consciously control our subconscious ingestion of things, so you can rule out media and social media, because I don't use any of that stuff. I don't even have the apps on my phone. I don't watch TV. I definitely, nothing mainstream. No, I use an app called Buffer. It's $99 a year. I've admitted this like 25 times to my knowledge on video. And it lets you post in like 6 to 9 places all at one time just using this app called Buffer. And then it just like shoots it out to all the different profiles that I have. And it looks like I'm online. Nope, not online. Nope, not on Facebook. They're like, but I just saw you on there on Tuesday. I'm like, did you know? Maybe you should watch the video where I show you, this is Buffer, this is me, this is how you do it, and yeah, maybe you're having a Mandela effect because you didn't see me because I wasn't there. Or was I? What if every time I elevate in this time, this lifespan, this cycle, right here, 2019, 2020, right now, in this lifetime, Fruit Loops, it was fruit, F-R-O-O-T, loops, because fruit and loops were meant to rhyme. And also, not just rhyme, but the O's were supposed to be the cereal because they were shaped like little O's. So naturally, for Fruit Loops to match, you had to have the O's and the O's. Of course that makes sense. And yes, if I go to the grocery store right now, I'm going to be buying F-R-O-O-T loops. But back in the day, I remember, I don't know if I had a near-death experience, I don't know, but I promise you I will fight it. I will fight you all day long on some of these, because some of these are so infuriating that you're just blown away. And then some of them are so fascinating because you're like, no, oh God, don't ruin that for me too. I mean, it's like every time I do a video or learn about more Mandela effects, it ruins my life and it like so much more. It completely ruins my life because you're taking away all of my childhood memories and telling me that it's a lie. It's not true on one hand. And then on another hand, you're telling me that I'm misremembering it. And then on another hand, you're like, oh, well, don't worry. You're not the only one. There's like however many people, X number of people in the world who also remember it that way too. So are we misremembering, or are we remembering something that actually happened, and then now in 2019 maybe we are slipping through these little cracks in the matrix wall, if you will. Matrix glitches, guys. Yeah. So when you elevate and you start to raise your vibration and you're consciously aware of your thoughts, your subconscious thoughts, and your subconscious ingestion of all the crap that they're going to blame it on, like media, social media. Oh, you probably just misread that somewhere. No, take those out of the equation. Nope, it happened. Why do so many people fight you on it if it didn't happen? Why, when I can raise my vibration just by being a positive person and literally always going out of my way to make sure that someone's having a good day or make sure that somebody's smiling, that's called evolution. Another interesting word that that's another Mandela effect that we'll have to get to. It seems like every time I say a word, it turns out to be a Mandela effect. This is what I mean when I say it's ruining my life, because it's taking away all of my favorite things and going, nope, that never happened. And then you go and Google it and you're like, yes, it did. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. So those are the two sides. I did not create them. I do not do division. I like unity. I like harmony. So if I'm slipping through the cracks or somehow have access because of some abilities or an awakening process, or just learning how to be a more positive person, staying grounded and being aware of all of my surroundings and being present at all times. If that has something to do with this being an ability to slip through and travel through these parallel universes, the reason that is parallel is because back here in this negative mindset, before I started meditating and things like that, right? It probably was fruit, F-R-U-I-T, loops. Maybe. Or maybe I died and came back and I remember it from a past life. I don't know. But I remember it in this life. So that's the weird part. Then, in your parallel universe, it's F-R-O-O-T loops. So it's still in the same lifetime. So I'm in a lifetime where I remember growing up with it spelled one way. And if I go to the store right now with anybody and we both look at a box of Fruit Loops, they're all going to say Fruit Loops with O's. So that's a little bit about that. I think that's how you slip in and out of these different parallel universes. I figured out yesterday that it's a lot like deja vu. So it's like a familiar feeling. You've been there before, But the thing about deja vu is when you have deja vu, it's not wrong. And you can't tell somebody that their memory is wrong of a historical, factual event that actually did take place. So if by doing so, and if by researching all these things, and we learn how to be nice to people and get it together and grow and evolve as a person into a better person, maybe that's where the parallels line up. You elevate to a certain point where, all right, now you finally see it for what they say it's been the whole time. F-R-O-O-T loops. Maybe. Because that to me seems to be the only thing that makes sense, given some of the conversations I've had, given the awakening process that I talk about all the time, given everything that I've been through, it makes sense. And also that's why it's so upsetting, because I'm like, no, it was the Berenstain Bears, and I will fight you on that. Nope, no Berenstain Bears, Berenstain. Again with the letter. A lot of them are a word or one letter. An A, like interview with a vampire or interview with the vampire. Then you got Monopoly guy with the monocle. Yep, then you got Pikachu. Does he have black on the end of his tail or not? I don't know. I thought he did. I think what's so fascinating about it is that you can't prove me wrong, and I can't prove you right. There's no proof on either end. But I can tell you this. So, yes, I talk in circles, but I always come back around full circle. You'll get used to it. All right, so again, I read to children every single year, thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of children. We all get on this one line that I create for one day a year. It's a Christmas Eve phone call that I do annually at around 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, no matter what. Nothing in the world will ever stop me from reading this book to them. This book. And it's so funny because I read this to a little girl the other day, and then I found out the day before yesterday about the Mandela Effect inside of it. So this is the book. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Okay? Now, here's some random interesting facts that probably have nothing to do with anything but should be noted. At least just mental note it. So, supposedly the story of Santa Claus or Saint Nicholas or whatever, it came out in like the 1883-ish times. I don't know how true that is. At the end of the video, look for the story of Christmas in 1883. This book says 2017. So I grew up on a book called 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And as far as I know, it's the same book. So I was reading it, I read to all these kids every year. So on Christmas Eve, I get out the book and I read it. And not only that, but I have ALEXA over there, read it from Audible books too. And I ask children all the time, I'm like, name the reindeer. Okay, here's a few things you don't know. The reindeer are all female. Why do they have male names? No idea. Did you know that there's another reindeer on top of the ones that you think you know? Yep, her name is Olive. Why are they female reindeer? Because male reindeer shed their antlers off of their heads in the winter, or I guess that time of year. And apparently they shed them off for real. So all the females, they're all females. They're female reindeer. Their antlers do not shed off. Only the male antlers do. So Santa Claus with his sleigh of all these reindeer, all right? I'm going to pose a question to you now. Can you name, without Googling it, the names of all the reindeers? Yes, I already told you that. They're all female now. Now you know that, right? And some of the names kind of like, all right, cool. But then Rudolph, whatever, and then Olive, and my child knows about Olive. I'm like, what are you talking about? So again, this specific version came out in 2017. Every single Christmas Eve at 7 o'clock, I read this version, this actual book right here, and then I tell ALEXA over there to read it from Audible. And she reads it and it says the same thing. Well, this year it's not going to get to say what it's been saying every year prior. And we're talking like literally tens of thousands of children worldwide that I do this thing. I set it up like every year. I do this major thing and make a big deal. Get a cup of hot cocoa. I give special magic ingredients such as, sugar-free and 1 marshmallow versus 10, and it has to be pink, little treasure hunts. I don't know, a secret recipe for some secret magic hot cocoa. Then we all sit down and then I wait until everyone says, okay, we're here, we're ready. And then at 7 o'clock on the dime, I pick up the phone and I place a call. They're already on the other line, or they can chime in at any time. It's like a mass worldwide conference call. So I read the book. I always promise to put the kids to bed, and it works like a charm every time. Like I said, I read this book to a child 3 days ago. She fell asleep on the second page. The parent was like, is she asleep? I'm like, yeah, she's asleep. All right, 'twas the night before Christmas. Don't forget, Audible reads it too. So, who are the reindeer? Because this is how I remember it. I'm not a good singer, but I'm going to do this anyway because I do not care if I embarrass myself. I'm trying to make a point and it's going to happen. So, there was Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. Right? Right? Am I right? I don't know. So I was looking through my book the other day because I saw a YouTube video that said that there was no Donner and Blitzen. I called my mom. I called my kids. I said, name the reindeer. They thought I was bat crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. please name the reindeer, specifically the last two, and spell them. And then that's when I discovered Olive was another reindeer. Olive. So all those times that we've watched the movie or read this book, there's an Olive that we've never heard of once. But then again, here in 2019, going on 2020, we live in a world where all these kids have ever known is Olive. See the problem there? You can't win. All right, so I'm going to get to the page where it reads the reindeer's names, and I'm going to read you something that has ruined my Christmas Eve that I do for children every year, and I love it. Like, my two favorite days of the year are Halloween and Christmas Eve. Why? Because for Halloween, I do the Teal Pumpkin Project, and I'm the only house in the entire city that does, it's for food allergies, children with food allergies. I don't give out candy. I give out, like, really cool stuff and turn my house into, like, a fall festival, a small fall festival, and free costumes, and just, you know, I own a nonprofit, so I have a whole bunch of stuff to give away. So just come in. I record it. They get to be on iHeartRadio with me. This is something I do every year. The Teal Pumpkin Project. It's the same thing on Christmas Eve, except people aren't coming here. They're all over the world, and it's a phone call. So I call in. They tune in whenever they chime in. I give them two versions. I read it. Alexa over there, she reads the other one, and her words have always matched mine until this coming up. Oh my God. December of 2019. My friends, yeah, I'm still going to read your kids this book, but I am not going to admit that their names are, let me quote it. This is so funny. It's not funny. Like, it's, like sometimes I'm speechless, and all I can do is just growl because it makes me so angry. And by the way, if you don't know what a slider is, I'm a slider that's an electrical person. So when I get very upset, light bulbs shatter and lights flicker and you'll see orbs in the background and all this other stuff that I don't care if you believe me or not. Watch my channel. If I were to record often enough, you would actually get to see it every single day. But I mean, I don't have a lot of time to record every day. So here we go. Here's Santa, right? Old Saint Nick. So there's a sentence here that says, the prancing and pawing of each little hoop. Let me read you this page. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. Prancer. Now, this is the page. These don't have page numbers on them, but there's only like, I don't know, 10 pages in the book. This is this. Oh my God, let's see how close I can get. I want you to put your attention right there. I want you to be able to read what that says. Do you see what I see? This one like killed me because it happened right in front of my face. After watching the YouTube video on this effect, I opened my book to prove it wrong. And like literally, I swear to God, the word changed right in front of my face and I tripped out. I mean, freaked out. I was like, no way. Now, this one's only got one of the two actual reindeer names that I'm referring to. So all the other ones are fine. All of them except for Donner and Blitzen. It's actually Donder, D-O-N-D-E-R, and Blixen, B-L-I-X-E-M. This one says Donder and Blitzen. So the fact that like I watched it change in front of my eyes, right here, Donder and Blitzen, C D-O-N-D-E-R, ruined Christmas for me. Like now, because I'm such an honest person, I have to say Donder. That book says Donder. Yep, Donder. Donder is a reindeer. There's an olive too. Yep, they're all females with all these male names. So did you just see what I just did right there? When I read you the page, when it said, and the prancing on the roof. Okay, I guarantee you, mark my words, that's going to be the next Mandela effect when it comes to the reindeers' names. Blixom, Blixom. It's not in the book yet, but I just told you that I watched it happen in front of my eyes. It said Donner, and then it's like I blinked for a second or looked a little closer, and my God, it said Donder, Donder, and I freaked out about it. But that page that I just read you, and it said prancing on the Prancer is one of the reindeer's names. So that goes with the first possibility or explanation of the Mandela effect, which is that, yeah, misinformation. It never happened. It's always been Donder and Blixom and Olive also. And they go in and, I mean, the reason why people think it's a conspiracy theory, it's like you're going behind us and taking every movie and you're taking out a word or a line, a very, 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 very well-known and famous line, jingles, songs, movies that you know, anything and everything that you've ever loved and that you memorized. This is all memory. One says it's a false memory, one says it's an alternate reality, parallel universe. I agree with time travel, parallel universe, alternate realities, and I agree that as we elevate as people and learn how to meditate more and, you know, just become a better person and always, always, always work on ourselves and be present in the moment, it is no surprise to me whatsoever that when I took a closer look on that page, even though it made me so angry because it like ruined Christmas, because I can't lie, and this year I'm going to literally have to read Donder because it has a D in it now. So for those of you on the other side of this that have always known it to be Donder and Blixom, I hear you, I get it. I mean, I respect you. So again, the purpose of this channel, why the Mandela effect is so, I guess, I don't know if I'm fascinated or I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Mandela effect, but I definitely know firsthand a little bit about time travel. I definitely know I've traveled to some places and gone astro traveling, and I'm definitely aware of some of the things that have happened to me, to include near death or actual death experiences that gifted me with abilities that I, you know, since my awakening have finally stopped fighting. And now that I'm embracing these, you know, gifts that I always called curses, now I'm starting to see things from a different point of view. So maybe now I'm seeing it in the real 2019, 2020. Maybe it did always say Donder. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that song I sang 100 times was just like Interview with the Vampire. I'm literally saying A and the at the same exact time. Literally. Interview with the. Whatever. Monocle guy, I got nothing for you. Go to jail. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So anyway, yep. Interview with A or the Vampire, or Berenstain versus Berenstain. Those are Mandela effects where you take a letter or two and you either flip them or you remove them. And for some reason it's always with vowels. I don't know why that is. I haven't figured that piece out yet. I have figured out that this is exactly deja vu. I have figured that out. If I have deja vu, or if you have deja vu, you've been there before. Why do you know how to get there if you've never been there before? Why do we say deja vu if we've never actually experienced it, been there, done it, had it, whatever it is? How do we get to say deja vu with such conviction? You don't see anybody laughing at people who say deja vu. They're just kind of like, yeah, whatever. They don't even acknowledge you. Sort of like when I speak to people who I guess are not awakened people, or I don't know, sometimes I really think that, sometimes I actually feel like I'm invisible, and I'm not the only person that I know that feels that way, because it happens to other people too. Maybe it's this slighter electricity thing that happens, that like when I get upset, you know, maybe my voice changes and it becomes inaudible or something like that. I don't know. That was a little bit more on the Mandela effect. I will be right back with some more mind-blowing Mandela effects. That's a few more. I'm going to start jumping into categories and subcategories now. We're going to go biblical. Yep, we are. I already know about 10, oh God, discrepancies. Well, I'll tell you all about it in a little bit with that video. New King James Version, specifically. The Queen of England is apparently in the Bible now. Fact. And then after that, or sometime around there, I'm going to do one for Christmas. And I'm going to try to find some Halloween Mandela effects. And I swear to God, if one person tells me that Hocus Pocus was never a movie, or that it never happened, or that she didn't sing I Put a Spell on You, or it wasn't Bette Midler, I might just like lose it, because some of these like bother me so much more than others. Some are like meh and whatever, who cares? Fine. I'll give you that. Maybe I, Interview with the Vampire. I'll give you that. I never actually read the box or the book. And even if I did, I don't remember. This is memory. You have to remember. In order for it to be a memory, you have to remember it. It is a memory of a historical, factual event that did take place. And now we're in a parallel universe, slipping in between alternate realities. Between what? I mean, if I had to take a guess based on these 3 examples that I've just given you in the beginning of this video, if we're time traveling, am I from the future? Is the future Fruit Loops with UI, or is it OO? I'm thinking that those of us that saw Fruit Loops because that was in the past and now it's Fruit Loops OO, I think that we are time traveling. Actually, I think I can see it both ways. We're either time traveling into the now in 2019, or we're time traveling back to the time when these things did say that. But the fact that people are denying that it ever said that, that's a whole other argument. So, again, it's just like deja vu. Can you prove it? No. But can you prove me wrong? No. So, have you ever had deja vu? Yeah? Then you've experienced the Mandela effect. Point blank. Have you ever remembered something differently than somebody else, or been in a large group of people that all specifically remember so many examples? The Christmas one, the reindeer song, the names of the reindeer, or, Wizard of Oz. Or Hello, Clarice. Do you watch Saturday Night Live and see the parodies that Jim Carrey does on little jokes like Hello, Clarice? He's got this like pizza thing. I'm going to insert the picture like right here so you can see how stupid he looks. They're laughing at us. But who's us? That's not really a question I can answer yet. I hope that with enough research and enough investigation of all of these Mandela effects, while I'm uncovering them, while I'm sharing them with you, while they're driving me crazy because I'm like, no. Yep. No. Yes, Tiff. It's always been that way, Tiffany. Get out of my house. Never talk to me again. It's like that. I mean, that's how much it bothers me. Anyway, all right, let's continue, guys. And I'll be back with some more Mandela effects. Like I said, I'm going to be doing themes next. And we're going to have Christmas and the Bible next. This one might turn out to be a little bit funny, considering Christmas and the Bible in the same sentence is going to cause some serious controversy, and you'll probably never look at either one the same way again. But yeah, all right, cool. See you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop a comment, ask questions, send me requests. The reason why I'm going to do biblical Mandela effects is because I've had a lot of requests to do a video on that. And for those of you that are watching this on the Mandela Effects YouTube channel, you know what? Yes, I just created that channel 2.5 days ago. In 30 minutes, it'll be 3 days. So please be patient with me. I promise I'm doing the best I can. Here's the full article on the story of Christmas 1883. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks again, y'all, for your support, and I'll see you again next time. Have a good day. All right, one last little thing, and thanks again for your support. Wouldn't you want to know if you were time traveling? Would you think you knew if you were? What if you did and you remembered it? Scary, but true. All right, see you guys again next time. Have a good one.